Hi, my name's Bren. Here's a simple yin class for hips and shoulders. You can find lots more classes like this one in the video on demand library at practicewithbren.com. We're going to start in a child's pose today. Can you make it a wide-legged child's pose? Knees towards the edges of your mat, big toes towards each other behind you, and extend your hands up towards the top of your mat. See if you can rest the forehead down, either on the mat or onto one of your hands. We'll spend a moment arriving into our practice with this first shape, and shortly we'll add a couple of side bends to our child's pose. Gathering in your attention onto the space of your yoga mat. You can invite a wandering mind to come back into the body as many times as you need to. We'll start to crawl our hands over towards the right. You might stack one hand on the other. You could rest your head on your upper arm or maybe between the upper arms. We'll spend about 90 seconds here. You might notice how it would feel to breathe in and out of this body right here and now. And you can use that sensation of breath as an anchor point anytime you notice your mind has wandered away. You can think, oh yeah, the breath, and come back to that investigation. How would it feel to breathe into this body right now? Three more cycles of breath here. Lift your head. We'll crawl our hands back through center and over towards the left edge of the mat. Maybe stack the hands. Find a comfortable place to rest the head. And we'll spend about 90 seconds here. Remembering the breath for about 3 more cycles here. Start to walk your hands back towards the center of your mat. And let's lift up into tabletop. A moment in counter pose. It might feel good to extend one leg at a time to stretch out the backs of the knees. Any other gentle movement that your body asks for is welcome. Next, we're going to lower all the way down onto the belly. You might scooch over to the left-hand side of your mat and extend your right arm out long. We're heading for open wing. So you might keep your right arm extended at shoulder height, or you might prefer to bring it a little closer down towards your hip. Palm is facing down. You'll start to press down with your left hand and roll any amount onto the right side of the body, onto the outer right leg line. If this feels okay for the shoulder, option to step your top left foot back behind your right leg. Will be another minute or so here. Be in a place where you can breathe. You might allow your attention to rest on the rhythm of your breath as a way to keep your thinking mind occupied. Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Rolling onto the front body. You could gather in that right arm and pause for a moment, maybe forehead resting down. And we'll start to go to the other side. You might scoot yourself over to the right-hand side of your mat. Extend your left arm at about shoulder height and roll onto your left side. Maybe top foot steps behind the bottom leg. Another minute or so here. Wandering mind can come back to the breath. Allow a couple more cycles of breath to pass by. And gradually roll onto the front of your body and gather in that left arm. We'll press our way up to seated. We're heading for a seated butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees open wide. Start by sitting up tall. Maybe some support from your fingers. Inviting the lower body to soften. And then if you like, hands reach ahead of you. You can start to curl and round into a forward fold. Take your time on your way in and your way out. Settling into a place that feels sustainable, a reasonable place to spend about 2 minutes. If your thinking mind is telling you stories or replaying memories, you can kindly invite it to come back to the breath. How does it feel to breathe right here and right now? Watching 3 more cycles of breath pass by. Nice and slow, start to bring your torso upright. You might lean back on the hands and release the legs. Find any little wiggles that the body wants here. Next, we'll find either cross-legged or shoelace. Shoelace means you could stack one knee on top of the other. If that causes you to tense up in the lower body, find a more comfortable cross-legged, and we're going to switch legs in a minute. Once you're settled with the lower body, extend your fingers to reach out for the mat on either side of your hips. Sit up nice and tall. Crown of the head reaches up, fingertips crawl away from you. We'll lean the left ear towards the left shoulder while sitting up tall. And you could crawl the right fingers farther away from your body. About a minute here with this neck stretch. Option to change the angle of your head. You might explore pointing your nose down towards your left knee while you reach away with the right fingers. Again, find a reasonable, sustainable place where you can breathe. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Slowly bring your head back to center. Release that right arm. We'll switch legs now. Other leg is in front or on top. Sit up tall. Reach away with the fingers. Right ear to right shoulder without tilting your shoulders. Crawl the left fingertips farther away from your body. About a minute here. Option to change the angle of your head. Maybe tilt your nose down towards your right knee. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Slow motion, bring yourself back to center. We'll lie down onto the back, meeting with knees bent and feet planted. Starting with figure 4, we'll cross the left ankle on top of the right knee. Find a comfortable place to rest the hands. And we'll start with a little bit of gentle movement. Can you rock your figure 4 legs left and right? Option to settle into figure four, or option to add a twist where the sole of the left foot reaches all the way over to the floor or a prop on the right-hand side of your mat. Chest remains open to the ceiling. Find a comfortable position for the head and neck. Inviting the body to soften. If that means that your figure four knee collapses a little bit, that's okay. You can keep coming back to the breath an unlimited number of times. How does it feel to breathe in and breathe out in this body right here and now? You might count 5 more cycles of breath. You might use some help from the arms to bring your figure four legs back up through center. And there we'll uncross, maybe stretch out that left leg for a moment. And we'll go to the other side. Right ankle crossing over the left knee. Pause here. And you could find some gentle rocking side to side. You can settle into a figure four like this, or you can rock your right foot all the way over to the left-hand side of the mat. Softening into your version of this twist or into your figure four shape. Anytime you become distracted, oh yeah, the breath. Watching 5 more cycles of breath. From your twist, press your way back up through center. Uncross, you might extend the right leg. we'll start to settle into Shavasana. Whatever your most comfortable resting position happens to be, we could be about 2 minutes here. Facial muscles relax. Head resting down. Sides and back of the neck soften. Shoulders melt towards the earth. Arms rest long and heavy and relaxed. The length of your spine can soften and rest. Seat muscles releasing tension. Other muscles around the hips can soften and release. Muscles in the legs can soften and relax. Both legs can rest long and heavy and relaxed. Let's watch 6 slow breaths go by. Next time you inhale, fill up the lungs all the way to the top. When you're ready to exhale, you might sigh out the mouth as you let go. Gradually adding a bit of movement. You might like to draw the knees towards the chest and do a little rock and roll around. As you're ready, you can make your way up to a seat. There's no rush. Thanks for joining me in practice today.